New figures released in the past few moments, the rate of inflation has eased from 10.7 to 11.1 last month, according to ONS.
Well, the Chancellor has also been speaking in the last few minutes. Jeremy Hunt saying inflation is the number one enemy. He went on to say the aftershocks of COVID-19 and Putin's weaponisation of gas mean high inflation is plaguing economies across Europe. I know families and businesses are struggling here in the UK. Getting it down is my top priority, which is why we're holding down energy bills this winter through our energy price guarantee scheme and implementing a plan to help halve inflation next year. I know it is tough for many right now, but it is vital that we take the tough decisions needed to tackle inflation. And he goes on to say if we make the wrong choices now, high prices will persist and prolong the pain for millions.
Well, that's an ambitious target to halve it. Can that be achieved? Well, with us now is Economics Director of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, Suren Thiru. Welcome. So you've just heard those breaking figures. I hope inflation's slightly down. That's good news. The Chancellor says he can halve inflation in the next year. Do you believe that can happen?
Well, it is good news that inflation is slowing a little bit, but it's still pretty grim. Inflation is still in double digits and it's at its highest rate since around the 1980s. So that's pretty grim. I think what we are likely to see over the next year is inflation starting to come down. And that's due to a number of reasons. Firstly, the way inflation is calculated. We'll see that help to bring down inflation over the next year because of base effects. What we also like to see, and we're seeing it a bit in the moment, is some of the inputs into inflation, like commodity prices falling. That will have a downward pressure on inflation as well. And also, as we move into recession, demand from customers, from businesses will also fall as well. That will actually bear down inflation as well. So what we are like to see inflation fall relatively quickly over the next year. It may be as quick as many people expect. For example, the Chancellor.
I'm interested to know whether or not you think the announcement yesterday in America on inflation feeds into all of this. We saw Wall Street breathing a huge sigh of relief at the close of play yesterday in the FTSE 100, very, very happy in response. And also what you think the Bank of England is likely to announce tomorrow in terms of interest rates in relation to today's reduced inflation figures.
Yeah, and what we're seeing in the UK, particularly some of the major drivers of inflation, particularly the global energy shock we've seen over the past year, that it happens elsewhere. So while we see inflation fall elsewhere, it is likely to impact the UK as well. What's quite interesting in data is what's happening beneath the surface as well, because what we're seeing is core inflation, which strips out some of those more volatile aspects like food and fuel, also falling in later days, which is encouraging some of the Bank of England tracks quite closely. But we are still likely to see quite a hefty jump of interest rates tomorrow. For example, we're expecting a 50 basis points interest rate rise tomorrow, which will take interest rates to 3.5%. But what will be interesting to see tomorrow is how the MPC votes on the interest rate rise. And what we'd like to see is a bit of a split, in that we see more of the MPC members looking to either a smaller increase or no increase at all. And that gives you a sense that there may be a pivot. So we've seen over recent times consistent rises in interest rates. That's likely to change over the coming months as we see the recession hit and we see inflation start to drop.